Greetings, friends, and welcome to Sunday. I gotta say, today was a really good day, and I think I needed that after, spending a few days all down in the dumps. I have a feeling things are gonna start picking up soon. I don't know why, but I just kinda have that gut feeling. Maybe it's just me being overly optimistic, which is very well possible, knowing how I tend to be. But I've just got a good feeling, I guess. And I'm not going to argue with that. It is good to doubt a little bit, just in case things don't go your way. But that's fine. I'm not expecting things to go in one way or the other. I just have a general good feeling. But today was a very good day. I got some writing done. I got to talk to Kayla for a little bit. They were kind of busy today, and I'm pretty sure they're asleep now, because it's 9 o'clock over here, which means it is past midnight over there, I think. Yeah, I didn't do the math there, so I was basically purely guessing. But as for what I did for most of my day, now that's part of why today was such a good day. I also want to talk a little bit more philosophy, but we'll get there after I've talked about the main topic, and that would be Persona 5 Royal. I've talked about it a lot on the vlog. It's a game I've struggled to play consistently for the past, I don't know, however many years since Persona 5 Royal came out. Because I've beaten the original game. I beat Vanilla Persona 5 back in 2018 or 2017. I think it was 2017 when it came out, right? Yeah, I beat it I beat it November 2017. And I just haven't been able to beat it since. And it's been a problem for the past 5 years, 6 years maybe even longer. But I booted it up today. I opened up my PS4 and I was thinking, okay, I'm in the mood for something that's not Etrian Odyssey, so let's play something a little different. I looked at my PS4. The games were shuffled recently because it needed to rebuild my database after we had a power outage, and so, funny story about that power outage, though. I was in the process of turning my PS4 off, the proper way. Back when I first got my PS4, I would keep it on rest mode all the time, but I've learned that's not a good idea, especially after I lost 3 hours worth of progress in Dragon Quest XI one time because of that. But I've been turning my PS4 off the standard way. Like, you go in, go to power options, and it's like, turn my system off. And so that's what I've been doing. I was in the process of doing that. It was in the process of shutting down, then the power flickered. And I'm like, shit, here we go. And so I had to deal with my PS4 rebooting and all that, and it's like, make sure you turn your system off before unplugging it. And I'm like, I know that wasn't my goddamn fault. But it did it anyway, because of course it did. It was a freaking power outage. Anyway, it took some time to rebuild the database, and it shuffled the order of my games around for some reason. So I was looking at my home screen, looking at what games that were on there, and I'm like, these are all games I haven't played in a while. It's kind of interesting, and I like that. It gave me a new perspective on the games that I wanted to play. Like, Ys 8 and Ys 9 were on there, Soul Hackers 2, which I know wasn't a popular game, and for good reason, but I do want to play it firsthand and completely beat it. Because, well, it's not the best game ever made, it's still a decent game, and I do want to enjoy it. And then Persona 5 Royal was on there. It was, I think, the first choice on there. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've been thinking about this game enough. I've been watching Persona video essays, not just for 5, but for the entire series. I actually just watched a couple essays about Persona 2 today. I'm like, I'm in a Persona mood. I've apparently been in an Atlus mood since I've been playing Etrian Odyssey for so long. So I decided to boot up Persona 5 Royal. I played it, and did not stop for almost 6 hours. That was the longest play session I've had for Persona 5 Royal in a very long time. I think it's been my longest session for Royal specifically. Not my longest on record for Persona 5, because with Vanilla Persona 5, I marathoned that game for 12 hours one day to get to the ending. Because I was near the end and I'm like, okay, I can feel it, but I ended up marathoning it because it took so long. But 6 hours today. Played for about 6 hours and made a lot of progress, and I'm still not even done with the chapter I'm on. Like, god damn, there's a lot to the game. I completely forgot about it apparently, but it could be because of my current approach to video games, but I take my time a lot more than I used to. Playing that game was a breath of fresh air, and it was the breath of fresh air I really needed, because it reminded me of what it is I loved about the game so much when I played it on release. It reminded me of the world we live in, and why I appreciate it so much. It reminded me of why I appreciate people so much. And it just made me think about a lot of things, and one of those is the philosophy I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the philosophy I mentioned, I think, in yesterday's vlog, where I was writing. And the technique I use is, when I go into writing, I don't consider the story that came before it. I don't worry too much about what comes after it. I just sit down and focus on the words I'm putting down in that moment. And that made me realize that's just the philosophy of being in the present moment, not worrying too much about the future and not letting the past bog you down. Because I realized I was using that same technique playing Persona 5 Royal today. Part of the reason why I have so much trouble playing it is because of how much I associate it with my past, and I feel like there's some sort of pressure to uphold the past for some reason when I play it. And on top of that, I feel this pressure from the future. I know certain elements of the game get difficult, especially in Royal, compared to how they were in the vanilla release of the game. So I feel like that was preventing me from playing the game, knowing, oh, if I mess this up, I'm screwed, kind of a thing. But no, I was just focusing on the moment-to-moment playing, and it made the game so much more fun. Just focusing purely in the moment, occasionally prepping for the future, but for the most part being like, okay, this is what I'm going to do right now. And that helped a ton. And it made me realize that's just the philosophy of being in the present moment. And that's a philosophy I hope to begin carrying into my day-to-day life. Maybe that's why I have such a good feeling about at least the near future. Not quite sure about the distant future yet, none of us are, but all we can do is just have hope for it and say, you know what? None of us know what's going to happen in life, so fuck it, we're going to go into it confidently. So, let's do that, shall we? I think I've rambled on long enough. I've shown off my optimism, and to be quite frank, it's optimism to a fault, but that's okay. I've needed that after being so down in the dumps the last few days. With that being said, let's end today off. Thank you guys so much for watching, you're all wonderful people, and as always, let's do our best tomorrow.